Well, hi everybody. Good Monday morning to meteorologist Travis Klineski here. We have a surface trough sitting over the area this morning. It's separating some breezy winds over eastern Nebraska with some much lighter winds farther to the west. It does get a little breezy again in northwest Nebraska. There's a cold front up in southeast Montana, well to our northwest still. That one is going to be a big player in our weather over the next 24 hours. So as we play this out, watch how the winds, they will increase ahead of that trough today. Most places will see a breezy day, but it'll be windy in eastern Nebraska. Lincoln, Beatrice, Omaha, all seeing some strong south and southwest winds. They could gust up to 40, maybe 45 miles per hour there. Here in the Tri-Cities, our gusts 25, maybe 30 miles per hour, so not quite as bad. But the strongest winds will eventually be the ones that are going to be behind that front as it passes through. It passes through first in our northern and northwest counties there late this afternoon. And then watch as it pushes southeastward this evening. Very strong winds behind that front. The initial surge of winds will be strongest directly behind that front. Let's back this up and look at those. Look at the speed of those winds right there. That orange color indicating winds that are going to be gusting maybe over 50 miles per hour. And it's not like the winds are going to be light out ahead of the front. They will be strong out ahead of the front as well, out of the south. So either side of the front, fairly strong winds. But you will know when that front hits you because that wind direction will change quickly, and it will be a strong wind. And the strongest winds may end up being down there 10 o'clock. Look at northern Kansas there, near that, just west of that area of low pressure. Very strong winds there. The other thing with that front coming through behind it, there will be an addition of some clouds, maybe some very light moisture. I don't think we'll see much with this though, but it's not out of the question we get some very light rain or sprinkles in here. And then later in the night, if it gets cold enough, maybe some flurries or a dusting of snow, but most of us will miss out on moisture. This is not going to be a big moisture maker. There's a lack of low-level moisture out there to really low-level saturation, so to speak, so we're not going to see a lot of moisture, very little precipitation expected. That front continues to advance southeast later in the night, and once that does so, the winds, as it gets farther away from us, the winds will come back a little bit. Still breezy later in the night, but not as windy. And it's going to remain breezy tomorrow. We'll see partly to mostly cloudy skies to start off our Tuesday morning, and then later in the day we'll see more clouds, or more sun, I mean. So eventually becoming partly cloudy, maybe mostly sunny in the afternoon. Like I said, windy or breezy conditions out there for your Tuesday, but not as windy as the nighttime tonight. And there's kind of a reinforcing cold front that comes through that kind of keeps things a little cooler in northern Nebraska compared to farther south. Well, let's kind of talk more of the winds. Now, already today, the winds are going to be fairly breezy, and because of that, a red flag warning will be in place for everybody in our area today. The only exception and it's not in our local 4 viewing area, it's the Western Panhandle where there isn't one in place. And you're thinking, well, Travis, we had so much rain these last couple of days. We're out of the drought. Why would there be a fire danger? Well, the thing is, it's March. It's not April or May. And a lot of our grasses are still yellow. If you look at the ditches and some of our yards, there's still a lot of yellow out there. There's some green, yes, but most of the grasses are still fairly dormant and they haven't really started to grow much yet. We still haven't really had to mow our yards. Most of us have. Maybe a few of you had, but most of us haven't had to mow the yard yet. And so the grasses aren't growing. They're still pretty dry, and it can dry out quickly with sunny days and some wind. And so it's dry enough that fires can still get going and get out of control. And so a red flag warning will go into place at noon today all over the area. And it continues. Usually these come to an end about the time the sun goes down because that's usually when our winds die down. But the problem is the winds are going to stay strong into the evening hours. These will actually continue until about midnight or 1 a.m. for most of us. That's when those winds will start to come down a little bit later in the night. Speaking of strong winds, we also have high wind warnings and high wind watches in place. The high wind warnings are all in place over the western parts of Nebraska, but the darker gold shade, that's high wind watches, which they essentially mean the same thing. It's just the question is, will this be upgraded to a warning, or will the Weather Service just decide not to put anything out? It'll be close. Basically, these areas have the best chance of hitting 55 plus mile per hour wind gusts. And most of these will actually be issued late. I'm going to move this down actually so you see more of the highlights of the local 4 area here, and you can see those arrows there. A lot of these are kicking in late this afternoon or this evening, and then they will continue until sometime around 1 a.m. or 4 a.m. depending on where you live. Basically, they'll lighten up from north to south. They'll pick up from north to south. They'll lighten up from north to south. But again, you see it there. Places like Lexington down towards Smith Center, Red Cloud, McCook, all in a high wind watch. And then back to the West North Platte, Broken Bow, up towards Ainsworth, Springview, Valentine, all under high wind warnings. All these areas, those are your areas most likely to see 55 plus mile per hour wind gusts. Well, on to temperatures for today. We will soar 70s, lower 80s. And this is probably lowballing it, to be honest with you. I would not be surprised if we see more of us getting to 80 degrees or warmer. Out west, a little cooler. That front's coming through there first. And then here comes that cooler air. By tomorrow morning, we're down in the 30s, lower 40s out east. Out west and northwest, 20s for overnight lows. So cooler air is working its way in. A big drop in temperatures for your Tuesday. Highs in the mid to upper 40s and lower 50s. This isn't cold. Even by late March standards, we have certainly seen colder over the years than this right here, but it is a big drop compared to what we see on Monday. And then Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, one of the coldest nights of our forecast, a hard freeze all over the place, 20s for overnight lows. So again, we're not to growing season yet, and this is why. We can still get those colder nights like this one right here. As we get into your Wednesday, a little bit of recovery, upper 40s, lower to mid 50s for highs for your Wednesday. How about beyond that? Well, we will quickly get out of the cool air, but again, we've got a couple of days of cool down here. So upper 70s today, then back down into the 40s and 50s Tuesday, Wednesday. Again, of course, the big story of the next 3 days, the strong winds this evening. When it hits you, that cold front comes through, you will know it. Once we get beyond Wednesday, we have another chilly night Wednesday night into Thursday morning in the 20s, but then we start to see some quickly recovering temperatures. Already back above average on Thursday, and then way above average for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Easter weekend is shaping up to be a warm one. It'll be a little on the windy side on Friday. Almost every day is going to be breezy other than maybe on Saturday there. But we could be back into the 80s Easter Sunday. And I'm not talking 81 or 82. How about 84 degrees? It'll be a warm one here as we head into Easter weekend. And looking at the long range, the first full week of April is shaping up to be quite warm in the 70s and 80s. So, other than the 60s there on Friday, or on April 1st there on Thursday. So, if you like warm weather, this is certainly for you. And warm and dry weather, we will not see much moisture over the next 7 plus days, the way it looks right now here. So if you're looking for a continued chance to dry out and get those ditches to lower a little bit, the rivers to go down, I have a lake behind my backyard at home. We need that water to go down a little bit. This should be a good recipe for that in the coming week to 10 days ahead. It looks like maybe as we get down the road towards the second week of April, we may start to see slightly more active weather return to the area, but that's a long ways out yet. We've got a ways to go to get there. So we'll enjoy what we have while we have it. I want to thank you all for watching on this Monday morning and starting off a brand new work week with me. I will see you all again on Tuesday. Until then, take care. God bless. And make sure you bring those yard, anything that's loose out in the yard tonight. Bring that in this afternoon. Don't let it blow around tonight because those winds, like I said, they will be quite strong. Take care. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.